Hello everybody, welcome to GG Flexibility Stretching. Now the main things you need to consider for this video is deep breaths. We want you to breathe deeply right into the diaphragm and breathe out. If you've ever done meditation before, think of it as a meditation sort of stretches. The workout is going to start in 1 second. This is where we will warm the body up a little bit and get the blood flowing around the body. And what I'll do is I will briefly explain what is happening. So here, just circle your shoulders. Nice and easy, nice and controlled. And then we're just going to work the trapezius muscles, pushing the hand away and turning our head away. Feeling a nice light stretch. Taking deep breaths, nice and constant breathing throughout. And here it is. In a second we are going to move on to the opposite part of the body into a calf stretch. If you watch here, you're just going to place one foot in front, drop the heel low. We're still maintaining them nice deep breaths, and we're going to move it over to the other side. We're holding for about 3 seconds and moving. Both feet placed forward, knees pushed, front knee pushed forward, and the heel is going to be dropped down on the back foot. And you'll feel this in your calf. If it feels too tight, just make the steps smaller. And we'll just keep moving that over. In a second, we'll be moving on to our next stretch, slightly higher up on the back leg, moving on to the hamstrings. And we'll move over in 3, 2, and 1. Okay, here we go. We're going to put our hands on our shoulders, tuck your elbows in, tuck your chin in, thumbs interlocked. You can see vertebrae by vertebrae. We're going to go down, nice and controlled, working it down, all the way down. All the way down until we get to the bottom. A slight bend in the knees that you may notice there, and we're going to stack the vertebrae up one by one, reach our hands nice and tall, as high as we can, and we go again, trying to relieve all of that scar tissue, nice and controlled, as we're still getting that blood circulated around the body. Another stretch up, nice and high. Again, interlock the thumbs. We go down nice and controlled, chin tucked in, bend, knee slightly bent, and you'll feel the stretch in the back of the hamstrings. And we're now pushing the hips slightly. We're almost not overextending, but just extending the hips. And again, we do this again. We'll get a few more reps like this and continue. We can inhale on the way down. Okay, the hams are coming up, and now what we're doing here is we're placing one hand on the floor and then we're rotating up towards the sky. The eyes will follow the hand, and this is just to hit the hamstring in a slightly different way. And it's nice and controlled, opening the body and the chest up at the same time. Lovely stretch here for the back of the legs, and still remember to have your deep breathing nice and constant throughout. We're now standing up and going in for a quad stretch. There'll be a little bit of balance here. What I want you to do here is to bring the knee and lift the chest nice and high. Look up, poke your chest out nice and proud, feeling down the front of the legs. Now what we're targeting here at the same time is a little bit of balance. So if you would like to close your eyes, just make sure you engage your core. That's fantastic. Now we're going to go down for another stretch here, the second set, where we're going to rotate up, going over and changing sides again. rotating up, changing sides. We're changing sides, so keep that going, guys. Lovely. And then in a second, what we'll do is we'll come up, but not just yet. We're going about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Prepare to lift, hold on to the opposite side. Stick your hips nice and straight. Squeeze your bum, chest up. And we'll take some deep breaths into the diaphragm, engaging our core foot balance. And this is it. Nice, deep breaths. I want you to focus on your breaths. Focus in the inhaling and the exhaling. Free all of your thoughts. All of your thoughts are free. We'll put the foot down and we'll place the hand for the final sets of rotation. Still, we're not thinking about anything. We're just letting the muscles stretch. It's a nice, easy pace. Here, we'll have about 10 more seconds and we're going to move on to the downward dog. So what I want you to do here is the objective is to keep the heels flat against the floor. We're still focusing on our breathing. The heels are staying flat. Now what you're seeing in a second is you're going to see a little bit of movement happening. Again, relax your mind, free your thoughts, think of good energy. No fears, no worries. It's all in the mind. Here you will see a little bit of forward movement and pushing back, keeping the heels flat. Good things are on the way today for you. Positive thoughts shall bring positive things. It's all a process. Free your mind, free your mind as we move backwards and forwards, all down that superficial back line. Now here we're widening our legs slightly and we're just going to rock the hips from side to side, getting the inside of the legs, also known as the adductors. Just trying to work it from side to side, side to side. We are still focusing very much so on the breath as we breathe in, as we breathe out. In and out, feeding all the cells the oxygen they need. And we're not thinking about anything else other than our breath. We shall be moving on to our next stretch in about 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Here we're going to work the hips forward and backwards, forwards and backwards. You should feel it maybe in just the front of the hip area, maybe some in the stomach. In a second we'll add some hands in at the same time. Okay, and here comes the hands where we reach up just to get a big stretch in the anterior front line, just as we'd be doing on the back. We're now going back, feeling it in the inside of the back legs and possibly on the back leg too. We'll have a big reach up, nice big, nice and tall. Open the front line down to the back line. Again, deep breaths, nice deep breaths. We have now reached 10 minutes into the stretching, 18 minutes to go. Okay, in 10 seconds we will change over to going back to stretching the groin. 3, 2, and 1. So we're just going to rotate the hand from side to side with a rotational aspect on the inside of the adductors. And we're using the hands as a driver. Think of your divine spirit, your higher self. We have to let go of all egos. In a second, we shall go into a deep squat. The feet are going to be brought in, our shoulders pulled back, stomach in and engaged. And we're just starting with like just about as 90-degree squat. And we'll work that to go down, lower and lower. So, in order, if we ever feel low, finding our true self or wisdom of ourself will pull us back together where we need to be to get to our higher self. It's the ego that has destroyed us from our higher self. In 5 seconds, we shall be moving on to the next exercise. 3, 2, and 1. Let's reach nice and high. Nice and tall, stretch the body right out. And then we're going to go over to the trapezius. Let's lean our next, look over to one side. And then let's look over to the other. Looking at the image there. We'll look to one side, back to the other. Get 2 more reps. Back to the other. And let's go back into our deep squat. Bring our stomach in, shoulders back, and drop as deeply as you can. Use your elbows to drive your knees out, and here we are rocking from side to side. That is great stuff. Really nice stuff, guys. Let's drink a lot of water today. Let's flush the system. Here again, we are coming up nice and controlled with a big stretch up, opening up the body. And now there's a little bit of a rotation. We rotate to the left, and then we're going to rotate to the right. To the left and to the right. Now prepare yourself to go into a deep squat. We might need to bring our feet closer in. Okay, our hands go straight down to the floor, and we're just going to sit down right into it. Now, if you cannot get this deep squat as deep as it's been shown here, just go halfway. You don't need to go all the way down, or do what you can manage. Okay, here, as you can see, we are walking out into plank. We are spreading the shoulder blades far away from each other. Okay, we are now going into a calf stretch. We're placing one foot on top of the right foot, and we're driving the heel flat, which is just slightly out of shot. But all that's happening is the foot that is on the floor is nice and straight. The back leg is fully straight. The left leg, which is bent, is over the right heel, pushing it to the floor, and we're just trying to get a nice stretch down the calf. Okay, over here it's being displayed. so that the foot has now swapped over. So now the left foot is flat against the floor with the right foot hovering over it. Okay, I'll just change the angle here. We're going to use the foot as a driver. The heel is still flat, but we're just trying to use the foot to change the direction and give the calf a different type of stretch than it's already had. So the foot is the driver. Okay, we've changed feet over, so we're swapping feet. Okay, we're going to prepare to bring our feet closer in, nice and tall, stacking the vertebrae by vertebrae. Let's have a big stretch here. Arms open. Bum squeezed. And now this is for the shoulders. We get our head down and we're now going to use the full range of extending nice and tall down the anterior line. We come down, get a nice rotation of the shoulders, make sure the movement is nice and fluid there, and we come up, almost brush the grass and get nice and tall, stretching out the hamstrings. This is fantastic. Okay, we will change stretches. Okay, we're opening up. And now this is the change of stretch. Legs slightly bent. We're going to open up the hip flexor here. We're going to bring both hands into the inside and we're really trying to get a big stretch out of them hips. Nice and controlled on that stretch. In a second, we might add a little bit of rotation. There it is. And we're just using that same hand just to rotate and open up and touching the inside of the hip so we get that full range. We're not cheating ourselves or anybody else. Okay, well done everybody. What we're going to do now is go for a quad stretch with that same foot. You can flex the toes up towards the sky as you just seen me do here, and this is targeting the front of the leg, similar to what we did at the start of the class when we was balancing on one leg, except for this time the knees down. What could be done to exaggerate the stretch, you could push that right hand right up and you could drive that left hip a little bit further through. We're going in for a second round here just to push that, really opening up that left leg. Okay, let's get the calves again. This is the calves. Remember, we're taking deep breaths into the muscles. That's a common theme that you'll be hearing from me. You'll be hearing from me saying to breathe right into the muscles by, picturing the muscles that you're trying to breathe into. Deep breath into the nose. Breathe into the diaphragm and exhale through the mouth. And here we go. We're bringing that foot back forward just to get that deep stretch. And here now, the rotation is a horizontal rotation rather than looking up. Okay, guys, get ready. In 10 seconds we are going to prepare to move on to the calf stretch again. And here we are with the heel flat. Now this is good. This stretch is actually quite, the whole routine so far has been very good, especially if you do a little bit of running. We're changing sides here. Okay, just getting another stretch out here. Not long to go now, guys. Here comes the rotations. Okay, we're now rotating the opposite side, trying to get that leg on the right leg extra straight. As you can see, slightly bent, but the more you stretch, the better. So here what we're doing the calf stretch again, keeping it nice and flat. Meanwhile, we're just going to go here for a nice easy stretch. Okay, here, this is called the lotus pose, and it's quite nice for the hip region. Remember, you're going to stick your chest out, you're going to take deep breaths, and this is a perfect opportunity to start to think in your mind, what do you want from the day? Start to push them thoughts out there and attract it in abundance. Maybe your goal is to have a good day without any worries. Maybe that's your goal. Maybe your goal is to go out crazy and party. But let's start putting it in our minds in a second. Deep breaths before we do. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Okay, we are swapping feet over, so this is one that's being explored a little bit further today, especially for those who have tighter hips. So I think everyone is at the same point. Deep breaths, look at the rising sun. Okay, we are almost there, less than 2 minutes away. We're having a nice big stretch on our knees. And we're going to keep those hands behind us, almost like it is a posture stretch. If you do weights, this is similar to the military press, except we have no weights. We're just trying to drive our mid back together and open up the chest. And again. Okay, we're in a deep squat hold here, heels down. Okay, just holding this. We're going to change it in a sec. We're coming into the last minute, guys. I just want to say well done to everybody that has completed the whole class. And I hope that you have a great day and attract everything you wanted. Let's take some deep breaths, the yin and the yang. Give from one side, take on the other. And that's how we keep the universe going. Thank you, everybody that's come today. And we appreciate it. Have a great day.